Welcome back to the channel, and in today's Blender tutorial I'm going to be showing you how to make horns in Blender. Okay, so yes, we will actually be adding this head here quickly towards the end and adding some basic materials, but the main focus here is really actually making the horns. And this technique gives you a lot of control, it's a ton of fun, and it's beginner friendly. Now, I have done this tutorial before, but I thought there are some things I could explain a little bit better, so I'm remaking the tutorial. And as always, I will be uploading this final result that you see here to my Patreon. So those of you supporting the channel on Patreon will get access to that. But if you're not on Patreon, you can still watch this. It's completely free, and I go completely through the process with an empty scene in Blender, no third-party plugins, no extra texture packs, just hopping in, using what we have in Blender. We'll get to something like this, and you can see here it is. Okay. Nice looking horns, could be fantastic on some dragons, some fantasy creatures, some whatever you're trying to work on. So let's jump in, and I hope you enjoy. So when you see an open up in Blender, go ahead and select all the default objects and press delete. And then we're going to go Shift A. Under our mesh options, we're going to add in a circle. And then let's go into our edit workspace. And let's go to our top orthographic view. So for me, that's just 7 on the number pad. So we're in the top orthographic view. We want to enable our X symmetry up here next to the little butterfly symbol. And then let's also enable proportional editing. We will now grab the vertex over here, and we'll go G and move it out and up a little bit. And then we'll grab one of these side verts and move that out like so. And then just grab one of these and kind of bring it down. So what we have is kind of like this flattened starfish kind of shape. We can always refine it a little bit later, but for now I'm going to turn off proportional editing. I'm going to go E to extrude. I'm going to extrude it up on the Z, and I'm going to click. And then over here I'm going to go Control R in the middle. I'm going to roll my middle mouse button to add in 2 segments. I'm going to double click to add them in. Then I'm going to go S, Z, and I'm going to scale them up and click. And then just S to slightly scale up, like so. And then Control R in the middle, double click, add in another loop, like so. And then let's just tab out. Let's right click and go shade smooth. Let's go over to our modifier, add modifier, search, and let's type in array. Let's give it an array modifier. Let's change the X factor value to 0, and the Z will make 1 for now. Then let's give it a count of maybe, let's go 18. Should work at first. We can always go lower or higher later. And now we want to go Shift A. We want to go to our curve options, add in a Bezier curve. And let's just go Z and go wireframe, just so we can at least see the curve. And if you want to, you can always click here on the circle up here in the collection and just turn it off in the viewport. And let's just click on the Bezier curve. Let's tab into edit mode. Let's press A to select everything. You can see we have both these handles selected. Okay. And in our top orthographic view, with them both active, we're going to go S, Y, and 0. And we're going to hit enter. So S, Y, 0. And then we're going to go into our front orthographic view. And with it still selected, we're going to go R, Y, 90, and hit enter. So we're rotating at 90 degrees in the front orthographic view. And now we have it up straight like this. And now you see this bottom handle here, right? This one here. We want the middle of that handle to be where the origin point is. So let's just select everything, go G, Z, and move it up like so until it is just sitting there in the middle like that. So now if we tab out into object mode, you can see it's just sitting here with its origin point in the middle. So if we double tap R, you can see it just kind of moves around there. Okay, so let's just go Alt H to bring back our horns, and let's just double click on the circle here and call it horns. Okay, and then let's just go S to scale that down, just so it's more or less the shape or the size of our curve. And then let's go over to our modifiers. Let's go add modifier, search, and type in curve, give it a curve modifier, and then come down and go to the curve object and select the Bezier curve. Let's come to the deform axis. Let's make it Z, or maybe let's just try, I went to Z minus, let's just try Z positive. There we go. And now we should be able to grab our Bezier curve, tab into edit mode. Inside of edit mode, let's select this top handle and then go Alt S. And now you can see we can scale it. So selecting the top handle, we can go Alt S and just scale it and then click. And then in our front orthographic view, let's just go R to rotate that handle S to scale it a bit, and then G to move it out like so. There we go. Then I'm going to select the bottom handle. I'm going to go Alt S and make that one a little bit fatter. There we go. And there we have our horn. You can now, if you want to, select both of these handles, right click and go subdivide. That gives you more handles. So now you can go grab this middle one. Gives you a little bit more control. But I think this looks kind of good as far as a horn goes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tab back out. And we're going to take both of these, the horn and the Bezier curve. And we're going to go Shift A. Let's add in a empty. We'll add in a cube. And then let's select both the Bezier curve and the horn. Okay, just both of those by themselves together. Okay, so you can see they're both active. And then holding in Shift, let's select the empty and go Control P. Let's go Object and keep Transform. We'll also just select the Bezier curve and the horn, both of them. And just go S and just scale them up, maybe just a bit, something like this. And now let's grab the empty, let's go R to rotate it. Let's move it over to the side a little bit. And let's double tap R, just kind of rotate it to give it a nicer kind of angle. So something like that. And then we're going to go Shift A, we're going to add in another empty. Let's make it a cube again. This one will scale down a bit. Then let's select our horn. Let's go over to our modifiers, add modifier, search and type in mirror. Click on it, and then for the reference object, let's select that second empty we added in. And now you can see it's mirrored like this. So now we can grab our first empty and we can rotate that to control the horn. We can also select the Bezier curve, tab into edit mode, and we can come in here at any point and make edits to our handles. Okay, but for now I'm happy with the way they look. Okay, and so I'm going to tab back out, and I'm now going to select the horn. I'm going to go to my modifier stack. I'm going to add modifier search and type in sub and give it a subdivision surface. There we go. And at any point you could tab in here and you can select this on the original to add more details. So I think that kind of looks better, just kind of scaling that up. And now you have a really cool looking template that you could always randomize as much as you want to for a different effect. But I think just having it kind of like it is at the moment is really good. I wouldn't temper too much with it, but you can kind of see we have these nice looking horns now. Okay, if you have any sort of gaps filling in here, you can always select a horn. You can go over to the array and then just bring down that Z axis just a little bit if you want, just so that they stack in each other a little bit better. But I wouldn't go any further than this. I think this looks really nice. So now let's go Shift A. Let's add in a UV sphere. Let's go over to our sculpting workspace. Let's go enable dynamic topology, click OK. Then let's go over to our active tools work panel here. Let's go down and let's go to symmetry. Let's enable the X mirror. And under the dynamic topology, let's go to, it should be relative detail, which is what we want, but let's make it 4, like so. Then let's go over to our tools over here. And let's just get, I think we'll go with the grab tool. Let's press F to grab a brush and click. And now let's just grab this and kind of drag it out. Okay, like that. And let's come over here, give it a little bit of shape on the head. Drag it out here a little bit more back. And maybe just a little bit more wideness down the bottom here. Something like that. And then let's get our clay strips brush over here. F to shrink it. And then let's just sculpt a little bit of detail around the horns. I'm just going to increase the strength a little bit. And I'm just going to go around here, kind of bulking up around a horn, just kind of giving it a little bit of more volume. So it kind of looks like a growth area here. And, you know, I'm not trying to be anatomically correct here. If I wanted to, I would actually be looking at references of the anatomy of whatever creature I'm trying to do, be it a dragon or, you know, a lizard, dragon, hybrid, whatever crazy fantasy creature you can think of. But the idea here is just to kind of have something, just to kind of show off our horns on. So I'm just gonna add a little bit more volume. And then holding in shift, I'll just go over everything and kind of smooth it out just a little bit. Okay, because the main focus on the tutorial here isn't doing this so much. There we go. Okay, so now we have something that looks really cool. I'm gonna go back into object mode, and with this selected, I'm gonna go to my particles, and I'll give it a particle system, make it hairs, bring down the hair length over here, like so. I'm gonna go to the viewport display, give it strand steps of 2. Under the render, I'll make it B-spline, and then I'm gonna scroll down to the children, make it interpolated, and then come to the roughness here and just play around with some of these parameters just to give the hair a little bit more randomness, a little bit more shape, like so. Pretty cool. We can now go into our particle edit, and if you want, you can go ahead and just grab your brush and just kind of paint it however you want. Okay, like I said, this is not really what the tutorial's about, so I'm not going into any great detail here. And I'm hoping you guys understand that and won't get too frustrated. It's more about the actual horns. This is just kind of like a little bonus extra that I'm doing in real time while I'm doing this. So there we go. So I'm gonna go back into object mode. And if you want to, now you can go into the front view, go to your render engine, change it to cycles, go to your max samples for the render. I'd make it 45, and then go Shift A, add in a camera, and in your side view, move it back. There you go. So I'm going to move the camera back. And I'm going to go Shift A, I'm going to go to my lights, add in an area light, move it up. I'll give it a strength of 500 and increase the size. And then I might just duplicate this guy from the back and duplicate one, have it kind of coming from the front, but a little bit at an angle. So now if I go Z and I go rendered, this is what you can see. So I'm going to select the horns themselves. I'm going to go to my materials, create a new material, call it horns. And I'm going to come here to the base color and kind of make it sort of like a latte kind of brown. There we go, something like that. And what I'll do is I'll select the actual head here, give it a new material and call it head. And I'll come here to the base color and kind of make it kind of like an ox kind of color, kind of like a tanned color, not too saturated, something like that. And if you want to, you can go to your shading workspace, select the horns, and then under your material here, just go Shift A, search, and get a noise texture. Plug the factor into the normal, Shift A, search, and get a bump node. Place it on here, but make sure that the factor is going into the height. And then go into your camera view, go Z, go rendered. And then what you can do here is you can just bring down that strength. And you can come here and give this a detail of 12, a scale of 12, and a roughness of 0.8. And now you can see those horns are looking pretty cool. And we can also come over here and just increase the roughness a little bit so they're not as reflective. And I'd also come to the subsurface and give it a value of 0.4. And you can also play around with the color here as well. If you want to, you can plug this color into the base color, Shift A, search, and get a color ramp. Place it on there. This is optional. And then you can drag these two sliders closer together and you can make one of them brown like this. And now you get a little bit more contrast and speckling here. And you can adjust the colors all you want, but you kind of get the idea here. So that's how you can make horns in Blender. Adjust your camera if you want. You can make edits to your lighting, duplicating your lights and placing them around till you get the desired sort of effect. I like to add them more at the back, so we get this sort of nice rim lighting, as you can see here. But with that done now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to the layout, going to make sure to save, and let's go render and render the image. And there we have it. I hope you guys have enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.